Have you ever wondered how an airplane flies? I mean, this huge jet that weighs hundreds of thousands of pounds can travel at 7 miles high, go 450 miles per hour, and bring you halfway around the world in just hours. Never before in all of human history have we been able to explore so much of the world because of flight. In this lesson, we'll explore exactly how an airplane flies and how pilots are able to control the airplane in a logical yet simple way. Let's explore the airplane more in detail. One of the first things you'll notice is that the airplane is not a single solid piece. There are many moving parts on the wing and tail of the aircraft. These moving parts are super important to be able to control the airplane. They allow the airplane to speed up and slow down, go up and go down, and turn left and right. Pilots control these moving parts in the cockpit to create a safe flight. While it might seem like magic that an airplane can fly at all, the key to lifting an airplane off the ground is in the shape of its wings. We call this shape an airfoil. When air moves over an airfoil, it creates a lift force. Literally, the air underneath pushes upward on the wing with more force than the weight of the airplane. But how does this happen? The creation of lift can be explained by experiments done by two famous scientists, Sir Isaac Newton and Daniel Bernoulli. You may have heard of Newton's three laws of motion. While all three apply to flight, the most significant is the third law. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. In other words, if you push something, it will push back equally. Think about a time when you put your hand out of the window of a moving car. When you twist your hand just a little bit, you notice your hand goes upwards. The air is hitting your palm and then deflected downward. The opposite force of this downward deflected air results in your hand going up. This is similar to how a wing works. Air hits the bottom of the wing and is deflected downward, which then creates an upward force underneath the wing. The second part of lift relates to Bernoulli's principle, which states, as the velocity of a fluid increases, its internal pressure decreases. Stated very simply, if air moves faster, it has lower pressure. If air moves slower, it has higher pressure. Higher pressure always wants to move to areas of low pressure. To demonstrate this, look at these two balloons. What do you think will happen if you blow air between them? Will they move closer together, or will they move farther apart, or will they not move at all? Before we do this experiment though, let's analyze what's going on here. If we blow in between the balloons, we'll be creating faster moving air, which is low pressure. The other side of the balloons will have slower moving air, which is higher pressure. According to Mr. Bernoulli, what should happen? The balloons come together. Now let's go back to the airfoil of an airplane wing. When air moves over the wing, the airfoil shape causes air to move above and below the wing. Because of how the wing is more curved at the top, the air speeds up and moves faster than the air on the bottom of the wing. This creates a pressure difference. Air below the wing has a higher pressure than the air above the wing. Remember, high pressure always wants to move to low pressure. The air underneath the wing literally pushing upwards trying to get to the lower pressure air on top of it. The amount of lift or upward push on the wing can increase by changing the position of the wing. If the pilot points the airplane upward, the wings tilt upward. We call this the angle of attack. As the angle of attack increases, the lift under the wing increases. Additionally, as the aircraft speeds up, the air going over the wing speeds up, and this also increases lift significantly. The Wright brothers, who made their first successful flight in 1903, used the same principle on their airplane to provide lift. Even though their airfoil was a simple curved shape, it was sufficient to provide lift. But by using two wings, they were able to double the amount of lift, allowing the airplane to fly. Another way to increase lift is to change the shape of the wing altogether. Airplanes use flaps and sometimes slats to do this. This changes the airflow over the wing and creates more lift by creating lower pressure on top of the wing, as well as greater downward air deflection. To summarize, there are 3 ways an aircraft can increase lift: increase speed, high angle of attack, and use flaps and slats. As pilots use flaps, the air creates more downward deflection and air pressure differences between the top and bottom of the wing, each increasing the amount of upward lifting force. Now that we've learned how an airplane gets off the ground, let's explore how a pilot is able to control the airplane. There are 3 primary flight controls: the ailerons, the elevator, and the rudder. A pilot will control the ailerons and elevator with a yoke, much like a steering wheel on a car, while the rudder is controlled with foot pedals. As the pilot moves the yoke and foot pedals, they're moving cables that will physically move the ailerons, elevator, and rudder, thus changing the way the air flows around them. These changes in airflow create small differences in the direction of lift force and impact the direction the airplane moves. Let's explore these flight controls in further detail. The ailerons are located towards the tip of the wing. They control the aircraft's roll or bank and allow the airplane to turn right or left. When the pilot moves the yoke to the left aileron is deflected up. The airflow over this aileron creates a downward force. At the same time, the right aileron is deflected down. The air over this aileron creates an upward force. The result is the airplane banking into a left turn. The opposite happens when the pilot wants to bank to a right turn. The elevator is located at the back of the horizontal stabilizer and controls the airplane's pitch, which allows the pilot to point the airplane up or down. When the pilot pushes the yoke forward or backward, the elevator rotates, changing the way the airflow moves, creating a force that results in the airplane pointing up or down, also known as pitch. When the pilot pulls back on the controls, the elevator moves up. This creates a downward force which pushes the tail of the airplane down and results in the nose pointing upward to climb. Opposite happens when the pilot wants to go down. Finally, the rudder, which is attached to the back of the vertical stabilizer, is controlled by the foot pedals in the cockpit. When the pilot pushes one of the foot pedals, it moves the rudder and deflects air one way or the other, creating a sideways force. This makes the airplane point to the right or to the left. When the left foot pedal is pushed, the rudder turns to the left and produces a sideways force to the right, moving the tail to the right and the nose to the left. Think of it like this. Imagine the airplane was suspended on a string, and you and some friends push the entire tail of the airplane to the right. You'd notice the airplane's nose would actually turn left, resulting in a left turn. The rudder and ailerons are used together to turn the airplane right and left. In review, we've learned that the airplane is not a single solid piece, but rather that airplanes have moving parts on the wing and tail that control the airplane. Airfoils describe the curved shape of a wing which produces lift or an upward force. There are 2 ways that lift is produced, and one is by deflecting air downward, resulting in an opposite upward force. This is Newton's third law. The other is Bernoulli's principle, which lift is produced by higher pressure under the wing, pushing up to try to get to the lower pressure on top of the wing. We learned that faster moving air creates low pressure, and slower moving air creates high pressure. Remember, high pressure always wants to go to low pressure. We've learned that airplanes can increase its lift in 3 ways. Number 1, it can increase its speed. It can increase its angle of attack or the pitch of the wing. Finally, you can use flaps to increase lift. In review of the flight controls, remember that ailerons control the bank or the roll of the airplane. The elevator controls the pitch, which can make it pitch up or it can make it pitch down, and the rudder points the airplane to the left or to the right. This is known as yaw. Thank you very much and good luck on your quiz.